to this week's episode of Crazy Nights, and we're up to week 8. And joining me as always is a good friend of mine, David Fowler. How you going, David?
G'day, Jamie. How you going? Hello, everybody.
And I want to say thank you, David, and including your wife as well, for having Shay and I over there this week. And
No worries. That's it. Glad to have you here, mate.
yes, and
Yep.
it's been an absolute awesome time. We had a great laughs and some
Yeah, we did too.
great competitions, and there's a photo that on Friday night there was a Judds player dressed up in Elmo. We will put that up when we do some photo cropping as well. We're going to put Paul Stanley's makeup on it and
Yeah,
things like
we
that.
went to see some rugby league, and on the way home we saw Elmo playing a saxophone, or no, sorry, trumpet.
Yeah,
So we had to get there, get our photo taken with it.
yeah. It was a windy, cold night. My partner
Uh,
suffered from arthritis in the winter time, but she managed to get through. She had a wonderful time. She actually saw the first rugby league game of her life,
mm,
and she was saying to me, David, that why is the ground so small compared to is on the TV?
AFL grounds.
Yeah,
Uh,
and it because the camera zooms back from the actual ground, it makes it look bigger. But
mm,
yeah, we had a great time. Great food as well. I won't mention what we had, but we had great food.
nachos.
Nachos. Every time we go to David's house on when he invites me over, I've always got a craving for nachos, and David's wife is the best nacho maker. And Shay, my partner's going to be making them probably in the next couple of weeks as well. So it's going to be good. Look like you got a coffee there, David.
Oh, we have. Thank you very much. Great service from the waitress here.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So yeah, I just want to give a bit of a give the home chores out of the way for our podcast. I want to apologise on behalf of Crazy Nights for the last week's episode being up a bit later than normal. We had a bit of issues with YouTube. Um, it will edit, but then it will have to re-edit it. So they did it twice, and due to YouTube, it was put up on Friday, and that's so we're up to over 70 views now. So if you haven't actually already seen that episode of when we talked about Kiss Alive album, please listeners go and view that. I want to also say thank you to everybody that has liked it. We're getting majorly thanks and praise by people and that. And also, David, when
Yeah.
today it's like every week I've been asked when is Crazy Nights going up on iTunes. Well, we're still working that out. David and I were
It will be soon, people.
yeah, David and I were working on some things over the weekend while I was in Melbourne. Seeing David, we just need to tighten up a few other things, and the producer, who is my partner, is also going to put up a new photo that was taken up recently, and we're going to have a complete brand new layout, brand new banner, brand new things. If you go to our YouTube channel, our banner is already up there. That was taken over the weekend, but we are going to explore more avenues. We're going to get a different program for our editing. We're going to get a different podcast website. The one that we had originally didn't give us the feed for iTunes, but we'll get all of that. But we want to say thank you everybody that has joined us. We're over 300 likes on Facebook at the moment, and also we're almost hitting 1,000 views all up since we first started on YouTube. So thank you everybody that has been there from day one, or even just from last week. Thank you so much. And before we go on to this topic, I know I've been running along for about 5 minutes now. We will have a special guest next week's episode. This person has influenced us both from a podcast that they do, and we are doing a great.
And he has been involved with Kiss in some way. Run the website for Kiss.
Yeah,
So we'll be talking to him this weekend, and we'll be putting it up as around about Wednesday next week.
Yes. So, David,
Hmm?
while we were in Melbourne, um,
Yeah.
we were having a discussion about what we're going to have for this week's episode, and
Yes,
I
we did.
think
Yep.
I think the three of us two and the producer, came to a an agreement, and
Hmm.
that agreement was, David.
The ultimate set list. What would we like to see in the set list from going ahead, from now and ahead with Kiss?
Yeah.
So yeah. And
Well,
what's your thoughts on that, Jamie?
well, I thought what we spoke about on the weekend. Yes, I do believe Kiss needs to test themselves again,
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
recreate or reinvent the wheel, so to speak, but bring out these songs that haven't been played, if not haven't done so over the last 10 years, because
Mm.
since the Rock the Nation tour, it's pretty much been the same songs for the last decade, and until Sonic Boom came in, they probably put two or three songs in the set list,
Yeah.
and then Monster came out last year.
Hmm.
It's it is a pain in the ass for Kiss. I truly believe it's a pain in the ass for Kiss to get a set list night in night
Yeah.
out. They got so
And
much.
yeah.
So,
I mean, they've got about up around about between 250 and 300 songs now that they can choose from. And, you know, as we were speaking, uh, discussing on the weekend, and as I said, I'd like to see them challenge themselves like Metallica do with their set list, and maybe keep your staple songs in there like Detroit Rock City, Rock and Roll All Night. Yeah, those sort of songs that the crowd really love, but then sort of maybe change it up, maybe 5 songs per night,
well, that's
and
the thing.
just keep sort of rotating songs through, like, and make that show special for the people that were there.
Well, that's the thing. I'm with you. They should challenge themselves, but
They kind of started doing it when they were here in Australia. They changed, like no show in Australia was completely the same,
no. Well, see in
which
the
was good.
Perth show, the first night of the Monster tour, they have Wall of Sound in there. Well, they
Yeah,
dropped that for Adelaide and they put Crazy Nights in.
yeah.
By the time they go to Melbourne on the Monday night or Tuesday night, they dropped
Uh,
I Was Made for Loving You and Shandy and put I believe you said Christine 16 on the
I
night that you
think,
went.
yeah,
Then
I think. Hang on, I'll just yeah, I think it was. I'll just bring it up here.
and then the following
Um,
night they started to put Deuce back in the set list.
yeah, which
So and it was different. Like Perth and Adelaide had Black Diamond at the last song for the encore,
mm,
rather than from Melbourne all the way through, they had Rock and Roll All Night at the last song before the encore and finished the show of Black Diamond. They'd
yeah,
done that in the Revenge era. They
yeah,
put Rock and Roll All Night further up the set list and finish out with "Gotta Go Rock and
but,
Roll to You,"
or yeah,
you know. But I truly believe now it's a hard ask if they can challenge themselves due to Paul's voice, and we spoke about this on the weekend.
yeah,
But then again, just recently they had a meet and greet acoustic set that play Who Wants to Be Lonely.
mm,
And I'm saying, wow, 1986 was the last time they actually played that bloody song on the Asylum tour. Now,
yeah, 90s,
all these
80s,
acoustic versions are starting to pop up, all these songs. I mean, yeah, Kiss do a very intimate set list on the Kiss Cruise, but even so, you need over 2,000, almost 3,000 just to be on that cruise, just to get that type of intimate
mm,
performance. Now, set list wise on a normal tour, you drop songs from the
yeah.
set, but I mean, if you put songs in, you've got to take songs out. And the harder question is, what songs are you going to drop?
Well, you probably could go with because I was surprised they didn't play. modern day Delilah again on this tour, especially here in Australia, since we never got any of the. We didn't get the Sonic Boom tour here.
No, well, as
Uh,
you said, that when they went to the European and now in America, they've been playing "Say Yeah" back in the set list.
yeah, or uh,
Even "Heaven's on
they
Fire."
played they played uh, Say Yeah in Zurich on that Access TV stream concert. Uh, then I mean, I suppose they could. I know. Then they've sort of. And I wish they'd sort of play stuff like a whole night. Great ballsy song. I'm sure they could do it.
Well, that's
Um,
well, yeah, they can do it, but
yeah.
we were talking on the weekend when I was there.
Mm,
They've got Gene, Paul, and Tommy that can all sing.
yeah.
Should you give some songs to
Well,
Tommy and Eric? Because I truly believe
mm,
that even now on the set list over in the North American tour and even on the European tour, Tommy was doing a verse and a half of Shock Me, then going into Out of This World. I
yeah.
truly believe that what he should have done,
They actually did that at Zurich as well.
yeah,
He did the.
it that didn't
Mm,
flow flow the way it's supposed to. I truly thought that they should have put When Lightning Strikes, then flow it into Out of This World, two albums back to back. I
mm,
mean, that's the thing, and I'm only going to say this not for an argument's sake. I know it's an old debate, but I truly believe Tommy should interpretate a spaceman his way, not being led by Gene and Paul, because there's been
yeah.
so many arguments over the last 15 years, well, the last decade at least,
Yeah.
about Tommy being. I mean, he can. I'm all for it that he's in the spaceman outfit and he's,
Yeah.
you know,
Well.
and all that. But I truly believe he should create his own technique, the same way as Bruce has, and all that. Not just being led.
Oh. I think that's half the reason why, with the instrumental jam now, that it's not a straight guitar solo like Ace used to do and all that. It's kind of more of a jam thing with Eric, which I kind of find it's pretty cool when
Yeah.
they do that
But
instead of
as saying that,
something different.
the last 10 years,
Mm,
the stage or the concerts have been very predictable. You know when the blood solo is going to happen. You know when the
yeah.
instrumental. You know when Paul's going to be flying out for Love Gun on the rig. Sh- Talking about set list wise, should there be more song instead of solos?
Well, you could probably, I don't know, maybe
Because if you look at it,
cut Paul solo out.
just by looking at the instrumental jam session between Tommy
Mm,
and Eric, that
mm,
goes on for approximately 9 minutes.
mm,
You can fit another 3 to 4 songs in the set list.
mm. Yeah, but then again, if they were to do solos on their own, I reckon it'd go even longer.
Mm. Well,
Or
Gene, it does go on for about 8 minutes. He just grills around before he drips blood. Then he grills around when he's up in the rafters. Then that starts the song. And then
yeah,
even so, imagine it, especially at the Adelaide concert, if there's a malfunction with the rafter, well, you're still waiting.
well, there's certain part like that and the guitar, the Tommy and Eric thing, I think should stay.
Mm.
If they were going to cut anything out and go more with more songs, I'd take out the little Paul thing,
Well, that's
and
the thing. That's the thing.
maybe add another song in there.
This is another thing I just found
Yeah.
out today. Are the Paul stage raps really necessary now? I mean, that takes time.
Well, he's got to speak, in between songs. I mean,
Yeah,
also
but do you think he's overdoing it though?
no, not necessarily.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, I truly believe, especially in the Zurich one, and I gave it to you during the weekend,
Yeah,
when he's going boom, 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 boom. I mean,
maybe cut it down to half or that, but
all he should have said, this
it was,
song comes from
it's just
Sonic
trying to
Boom.
make
All he
it,
should have
it,
said is this song comes from Sonic Boom. I mean, it turning out
it,
to be.
it maybe did done the boom thing a couple of times and then
Well, he done that
gone
here in.
into it.
Well, just funny you say that. He done that here in Adelaide with the Monster. This song
Uh,
comes off Monster,
mhm.
Monster, Monster. I mean, we heard him the first time.
It's
Play the
basically
fucking song.
it's basically trying to keep, get the crowd going and all that. That's what why he does it. And
Yeah,
but if he just went this is this is this song and all that, it wouldn't be as good. It'd just be like sound like he's going through the motions.
true,
But
true. But you know,
I like his stage raps just quietly.
they're not the
Um,
same now compared to what they used to
no,
be like.
no, they're different, which is good. It's good. But
But the thing is, I mean, according to a report, or an interview back 4 or 5 years ago, one of the favourite songs from Eric Singer is Strange Ways.
yeah,
And he said that he would love to play that live. Now, he can. He's got the voice, he's got the technique. I reckon they should just experiment. Do a bit of an experiment. Get it to
mm.
Eric to play. You know?
I
Strange.
even I was just having on the subject of giving songs to and Paul's voice. Maybe even share some of Paul's songs with Eric. The ones where he has to sing a little bit higher,
Hmm.
maybe even Who Wants to Be Lonely.
Well, actually, it's funny you say that. I would love to see Gene's version of that song.
Yeah, yeah, no, I kind of wouldn't. I don't think it'd suit Gene that much.
No, it
Um,
doesn't. It doesn't. I mean,
no,
I love to see Burn Bitch Burn, but is that
no,
applicable? I mean, is that really applicable now? That you get a younger audience now. Now, it's okay, like I said on the weekend, it's okay for us die-hard fans want all
yeah,
these songs and in the
yeah.
set list. But now that you're getting younger generation or just people who just discovered, or not even actually Kiss fans coming along to the concerts, just going there for the experiment. Now, if you give them a whole range of songs that probably 75% don't know, do you go with the minority or you go for the majority?
Mhm. Well, they don't have to. I mean, they don't have to put every um, like really obscure song all in the one set. This is where it gets back to what Metallica are doing and sort of rotating them through the set sort of thing, and maybe one or two obscure like another whole night or something like that. Uh, but maybe have it in for a few gigs, then pull it back out, put something else in, and just keep it fresh for the audience and for them.
Well, would it be
Um,
fair to say that most of the people that do go to the concerts now are just part timers, just going with the flow of the music scene?
like there's still a lot of diehards that go like you and me. I'll still go to like
Oh yeah,
at least one or two shows every time they come here. Um,
but
so
I just thought that they got to do something different.
yeah,
I mean, I missed out on the Rock the Nation tour due to the fact I was in Canada, but from the set list that I heard, especially in Melbourne, I pledged allegiance to the state, War Machine for the first time.
yeah, War Machine. Was it either War Machine or Unholy? Was the Gene flying to the rafter song?
Yeah.
But then they did the in your face shows, and that's when they started doing stuff like I think All the Way.
Going
Um,
blind again.
hmm Parasite was in there, which is funny because Gene forgot the first half of the song.
Yeah.
Uh,
You were saying around the reunion or farewell that Paul did a sound check and Paul was singing Parasite.
yeah, he actually, yeah. Well, Sandra, my wife and I, it's either the farewell or the reunion show. We got there early one night and we actually heard them sound checking, and Paul was actually singing Parasite, and it actually sounded quite good.
Don't know who
Um,
can do it now though, but yeah.
well, it's not really a high vocal type song, so you could probably still do it.
Mm.
It's just um, whether he'd want to do it in an actual concert, but it'd be actually interesting to hear him sing it
Well, here's a
actually
question I
properly
wanna.
live.
Well, here's a question I wanna ask. I didn't ask over the weekend. Why do
Hmm.
you think they're going for the same set list night in night out?
Oh, because most of the younger, because you're getting a lot younger audience these days, and maybe don't know a lot of the older songs, so that maybe or they know those sort of songs, and that's why they're putting them in there. And just because
Well,
that's a lot.
I truly go along with this thing that some songs are not going over well anymore.
Hmm.
Especially with Hallelujah, especially here in Adelaide. Now there was
Mm,
45,000 people here. That
mm,
song didn't go over well.
mm. Maybe a lot. Some people hadn't heard it a lot because it hasn't been. Hallelujah hasn't been played a lot here in major radio stations, so a lot of people mightn't have heard it.
Mm,
Um, I mean, down here in Melbourne, um, Hallelujah was only played on commercial radio once
mm.
on here on Triple M, and that was it. Um,
And
and
I remember,
even
I
as
remember,
Sandra was saying that, like even Motley Crue's last single, "Sex," was only played twice.
mm.
Uh, so it's
And yet,
that would be kind of one of the reasons why maybe it didn't go over well because people hadn't that maybe weren't the such diehards that would have got had the album already,
mm,
may not have heard Hallelujah
mm.
yet.
Well, they're saying that
Maybe
Monster,
maybe
that's,
they have now, and we'll go out and buy the album, which would be good.
well, that's the thing because at the stage of the Monster tour down here in Australia, Monster album, and it's still not selling well.
Yeah,
It's still not selling well. And the thing is, when we had all these other things like um, merchandise with the ice block beer, so forth,
yeah.
we were going to kiss basically in every way, shape, or form. But when you go to the music side of things,
Mhm.
people won't buy buying the album like
Yeah.
you and I have, and the hardcore fans have. But
Mhm.
for someone who just discovered Kiss, they probably won't look at it. I mean,
Well, Monster wasn't really it wasn't in a lot of um like whereas 10, 15 years ago you might have had it in your department stores here
mm,
and all that. Uh, it yeah, Monster is what isn't in those sort of stores anymore.
no,
And there is a lot of record stores, even the major chains are downsizing the amount of stores that they've got. So it's the opportunities to buy it in store are dwindling,
mm,
which is probably why some of the sales down. Most people are either buying it online or um, or buying it off iTunes. And so say probably some people are illegally downloading it, which people don't do that.
no,
It's hurting the artist. I know Kiss have sold hundreds of millions in albums, and people say, oh, they could, you know, afford to, somebody to download their own bullshit. It's their art and their music, get a physical copy of it,
yeah.
or buy it off iTunes where they get their money for it. Because it's their art in the end.
Well, basically the fans has killed the music industry.
And Gene has come out and said that too.
You know, I mean, I will admit this, and that I did explore those side of things when it came out, but that was about almost
Yeah.
what?
I did. I'll admit it too. I at first I did I went and downloaded Sonic Boom when it first came, but I ended up buying uh, two or three copies of Sonic Boom after that. Anyway, so
Hmm.
you
But
know,
it was there. It was invented. I did have a look at it. I didn't
mm,
like it, and I won't download
nah,
illegally. I will
nah,
buy it. I will. I mean,
yeah,
the problem is now is a lot of record stores. Well, there's only one here now. It's called JB Hi-Fi that
I,
will get Kiss stuff. But if I need,
insanity. Sanity's here, and also, and more of the your smaller
disco,
independent stores like Radical Records here in
yes,
Melbourne.
and a good friend of
Well,
ours as
yeah,
well.
good friend of ours, Mark from
Yes,
Radical.
who's a massive
On your
Collingwood
brother.
supporter. Go Collingwood.
Yeah, we'll forgive him for that.
No, we
Um,
won't because we're going to beat Hawth on this Friday night.
but that's off the subject. We'll get back on the subject here.
Yeah, but anyway, but no, that's what I'm saying. Why is it just the same set list 99 out? I mean, they did the same in the 1980 tour down here in Australia. Nearly every night was basically the same set,
Mm.
and
Well, 1980, they could, they could do that because we hadn't heard a lot of that. That's the first time they'd ever been to Australia. So,
yeah, but when you got 4 nights in Perth and you're going to 4 consecutive nights, you're hearing the same set list.
yeah.
What did that say? You know?
Oh, being the first tour back then, it was okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, yeah, it'd be nice to sort of see him change up a couple of songs every night. You
Well,
know,
I'd love to see Take It Off from Revenge back on the.
and maybe have a staple. You know, like Guns N' Roses used to rehearse about 30 songs for a
Well, that's
tour.
the thing. Kiss always do a rehearsal before they go on tour.
Yeah,
They played like, well, just before they came to Australia, they did Sweet Pain, Two Timer, Getaway, Parasite, and all that. But they were the songs that,
in rehearsals.
yeah, at the
Mm.
Sony rehearsal, wherever there was. But
Oh, Sony Studios, yeah,
they do all these rehearsals, but by the time they come on tour, they
yeah,
don't play them. Maybe they do that. I mean, they're not doing it acoustically; they're doing it electronically with electric guitars and that. But most of these songs are getting reserved for the acoustic meet and greet sets.
yeah.
And I'm saying, hang on a minute. Those people that haven't bought the meet and greet are probably getting a little bit ripped off here because
Mm,
it's on Kissed Online. It's photos galore. They've got a little blog thing
mm.
about what songs they're playing and whatnot. But by the time they hit the stage, nope.
Yeah, well, I mean,
And they've been rehearsing these for about 3, 4 weeks leading up to the tour.
mm, I mean, they could say surprise people with an obscure song that maybe had been played on a previous tour before,
Hmm.
like even like Flaming Youth. They could.
For
I'd love to
fucking
see them
hell,
bring
how that
back in
hasn't
the
been
set.
played for fucking
Well,
ages
they haven't really played that
since the Destroyer album.
since 1976.
Yeah, if you get the
Uh,
if you get the Lost concert, you'll find that plus Sweet Pain.
yeah, and they played it on the European uh, tour as well. So I had a recording of Paris show from around the 1970s, and they were actually playing Flaming Youth in
Hmm.
the set
Yeah,
back then. So whether that was during that whole Kiss Alive tour, when they were actually doing Detroit Rock City, but within the Kiss Alive costumes and all that. But that songs like even something like that would be great in the set again.
well, saying that, if you drop God of Thunder, because it's so predictable now, if when the blood splits or bass
Mm.
solo is going to happen. If you
Mm.
drop God of Thunder, what would you replace that you have not seen before?
Oh, how's the blood spit song? Hmm.
I mean, we've seen I Love It Loud on the Sonic Boom tour.
Mm-hmm.
We have seen Unholy on the Rock the Nation tour.
Yeah. And
Now,
it'd have to be. I would like to see something off the last two albums. Doing. Can he? I'm an animal.
well, I'm an animal.
Do the blood spit to I'm an animal.
Well, see, that didn't really go well
Mm.
over
Or
live, according to our friend as well,
or
though.
one or what, even another song off the Monster or Sonic Boom albums.
Why don't
Because
they go back to the very first album? And I
mm,
know Gene used to do the bass solo Blood Spit for 100,000 years.
yes, yeah, that's right. He did too.
Instead of going up to the rafters,
Mm.
let him be on the stage and do that demon thing that we all fell in love with back in 1973 to 75 when he was doing 100,000 years.
Or maybe do not.
And do a
Um,
shorter
uh,
version. Do a shorter version. Don't do the drum solo in 100,000 years.
Mate,
Do
mate, but I was thinking even not even just doing it on the stage, but do it some other way instead of flying up to the rafters, mate. Do something more creative, and instead of just flying up to the rafters, do it some other way.
well, I
It's,
was thinking this. I said this after the '95 concert. I
mm,
said, wouldn't it be awesome if you had Gene right up the back and flying on a flying fox straight down to the stage?
but yeah, that would be good. But that's kind of like Paul's um,
Yeah, but
flying at.
Paul's going to a stage. I'm talking about a bit like the
Uh,
Shawn Michaels in the WrestleMania when he was fighting Bret Hart in the
yeah, I know the one. Yeah, you're talking about there.
yeah
Um,
coming down to the rafters, coming all the way down to the stage.
or then he'd have to sort of. So that'd take a bit of time. That'd be kind of. It'd take a couple of minutes for him to get to the back of the stage, get hooked up on the flying fox, and then come down. So that it take a bit of time out of the set to actually do it.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean,
it's one way. Or yeah, that's. And I'd like to see him do the blood spit a different way than what he's done it so far. You know,
because
but
I mean, there's so many other songs. I mean, let's
yeah,
put the X in Sex.
uh
Get that back in. I mean,
I'd
I don't think they ever play that
take it
live.
off,
I'll take
take
it
it
off.
off.
Well, they take it off before with the strippers, but
But
get some of these stuff from the makeup that hasn't been played, like Charisma, for instance, live.
yeah, or one of Paul's favourite songs from the whole dynasty, and he played it
Yeah, Magic
on
Touch.
one Magic Touch in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, this this is the way they could sort of do the set, like kind of like Metallica, and change it up every night. Yeah, not
Well,
to
I
and
actually thought
make the show special.
Well, I actually thought about this. Why don't they just play 2 to 3 songs off every album and then remix it like that? I
If they
mean,
would
keep
not on every show, not 2 to 3 songs off every album on on the one show. It'd kind of take you know too long to do that because they've got what 20 odd studio albums, so that'd
yeah
be like 60 songs. They'd have
22.
to be They'd have to be playing for like 6 hours.
Hey, well, why not
Well,
play for
and
6 hours?
well, they are in their or in their 50s and 60s these days. So the 6 hour set, and they'd be rooted, you know.
A 6 minute set that would be,
Yeah,
you know.
I mean,
I mean,
yeah,
just recently a photo came up on Kiss Online that Eric Singer broke his little toe on one of
yeah,
his index toes and
yeah.
that. He
Get well, Eric.
he Paul been
Yeah,
hit, so the little cat man will get well. it won't stop him from playing the drums and whatnot.
Mm,
But yeah, fucking, I love to see him do, well, especially now. All for the Love of Rock and Roll. It was played on the Kiss Cruise and some South American dates, but they dropped it.
mm,
Now, since then, all his vocal is done on Black Diamond.
mm.
They dropped Beth after the Sonic Boom tour, and that hasn't
They
been.
they are they are still doing it in the acoustic sets
Yeah,
for the
yeah,
meet and greet.
that's it. That's only on request or whatnot. But funny we say that on request. On the Kiss Cruise number 3 for
Mm,
November this year, they're giving fans an option to choose out of 4 songs what songs they like to, well, given that not 4 songs, but what songs they would love the fans to choose out of the catalogue for Kiss to play on their Sail Away concert, which is an acoustic set, mind you.
yeah.
I remember they did that in 2007 on the Hit and Run tour,
Mm,
and they had 4 songs to choose from, and All American Man was voted the song to play, and they only played it twice, I think.
mm. Yeah.
I mean, larger than life, because they played that. I mean, that would be a good song for a blood spit.
Yeah. Yeah. Ah, I've just thought of one.
Oh,
Almost Human.
yes,
The Almost Human is the Blood Spit song.
yeah, they got
Uh,
to do something different. I mean, it's just predictable now. I mean, I want to get a wow factor like I did back in '95. I mean, yeah, I
mm,
got a wow factor at the Monster Tour here in Adelaide only because of the experience I've got with the meet and greet, you know. But stage wise and all that,
mm-hmm.
nothing beat the '95 wow factor. It's like, oh my fucking god, it's Kiss, and you know, and I
Mm.
was like that. There was a
It,
couple of songs on the set list at the Adelaide. I said, fucking, why is that in the set list? Surely, I mean, it's been in the set list for the last 10, 12 fucking years. Drop it already. But it was
uh,
surprise enough to get Crazy Nights here. I was surprised by that. I'm going,
yeah.
yes, been waiting for this one to come. You know, been
I mean,
waiting.
that's actually the first time they played it here in Australia, I believe.
Adelaide, yeah, they didn't play it in Perth, and I was like,
No, in Australia ever, except
yeah,
for
yeah,
that maybe the
it was,
yeah.
and I was like, oh my fucking god, they decided to put a 1980s song in, like an 80,
Mm.
you know, something from the
It's
80s.
except for Lick It Up.
Yeah, look it up.
Besides Lick It Up in Heaven's on Fire.
But I love to get Creatures of the Night come back out again. You
Mm.
know, I mean, the last time they played Creatures of the Night was on the Rock the Nation tour.
Yeah, yeah, they played it here. I think they opened up with it, didn't they?
Yep.
On yeah, with
Oh, no,
Creatures
no,
that
no, no.
that
They
tour.
opened up with Love Gun.
Oh, it was high in the set. I
Yeah,
know
it was
that.
high in the set.
Mm,
I mean, even now, Shout It Out Loud is high in the set.
mm,
I mean, that normally down near towards the encore things, but they've done
yeah.
that. I mean, they put Let Me Go Rock and Roll back in. I mean, it's been done before. I mean,
I still love that. I'm glad that's actually back in the sets.
yeah,
So I actually
it's
love that song.
okay, but it's not a wow factor for me.
Mm,
It's still
hmm
there
Yeah.
and whatnot because the thing is, there's other songs to choose from. I mean, over the Alive 35 and Sonic Boom, they had Hotter Than Hell in there. Now that's out again. They had Parasite in. Now it's back out again.
hmm
You know, like I said at the start of the podcast, it must be seriously a pain in the freaking ass for Kiss to come up with a set list. I mean,
Mm,
what is the ultimate set list? There's gonna
mm,
be fans saying, "Oh, I'm disappointed that song not in," and
mm.
"Oh wow, that song's in," and whatnot. And you'll never please
And
everybody.
they I don't think they play much of rock and roll over these days.
Yeah, well, Take Me. I love that. The back in Hard
Mm.
Luck Woman. Get
I think
Eric Carter singing.
out
Oh,
of
Eric
rock and
singing.
roll over, the only song they usually play live a lot these days is "Calling Doctor Love."
Exactly. Let's get making love on there. Let's get,
Uh,
you
take
know,
me,
take me and
love 'em and leave 'em.
yeah. Well, yeah, that hasn't been played. I don't think that's ever been played live at all, except for on the video clip.
Uh, no, they have played it. I'm sure they have.
Yeah, live.
Yeah, I'm thinking that. Sure, it has.
Yeah, we'll check that out.
Um, yeah, we'll investigate that one.
But homework for the listeners, um, David. We'll give them
Mhm.
some homework. What will be the ultimate set list and why?
Yeah, post your answers up on our podcast page.
Yes,
We'd love to hear what you think. You
yes,
guys think would be your ultimate set list for kids to play?
yep.
Um, I
And
mean, we've got our own theory, our own theories on that.
yes,
But we'd love to hear what you think.
yes. And just before we wrap up, Dave, I came over with my partner Shay for your birthday,
Ah, yes,
and we got you a birthday present. Would you like to show a kiss and show, basically?
yes. Dun 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 dun. Want some can? Hey, I want some candy. Ah.
Look
Oh
at that.
no. Oh, I want all your cash. Put all your cash in the bowl.
You fucking took all my cat. No. But anyway, listeners, we want a segment. Well, not a segment, but we want a name for that Gene Simmons candy bowl. If anyone
Yeah.
can come up with a name, please give us a photo. Take a photo of it if you can, because
The funnier the suggestions, the better.
yeah, the funnier whether
And
they're
make
what
us laugh.
whether we can use them or not is another thing. But yeah,
Yes.
children
But
under the age of 16 shouldn't
well,
be.
you
Doing
you can tell us those ones, but we might be reading the more graphic ones out on the air. Let's just say,
Yeah, but we do see everything on Facebook. There's three
yeah,
people.
we,
There's
we do.
myself, David, and the producer. We're all looking on it, and yeah, all means give us a name. If you want to make up a Facebook page, by all means, that'll be even great as well. But yeah, the candy bowl, the Gene Simmons candy bowl. Give us the name. We're looking for a name. It's like a new pet that just came into the house. It needs a name. So if you want to call it the Gene Simmons do it that. But we want a name for it. We can call it Mikey if you want it. But yeah, but we'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
And just to wrap things up, Dave. Like I said, from next week leading into the months of September, we do have a whole range of
Mm.
special guests. We might actually do a double header, but expand it out. You know what I mean, Dave? Like do
Mm.
two special guests in the week, record it, but have it separate from the other one.
Mhm.
So, but we're starting off this Saturday, our time here in Australia, which will be the 17th of August when we record the episode 9, and we do have a special guest for that, and it's going to be an
And
awesome.
as we alluded to before, this guy used to run Kiss Online.
Yes, we did something behind the scenes with Kiss as well, which
Mhm.
is now one of the co-hosts of a podcast that influenced this one.
Mhm.
So yeah,
They did.
yes. So yeah, keep a lookout on YouTube. Thanks for all the subscribers that have subscribed our channel on
And
YouTube.
keep passing on your friends, get them to watch the show,
Yes,
and yeah, or listening in and watching, and hope you enjoy our take on all things Kiss.
yes, and also please come and join us and follow us on Twitter. The more the merrier.
Twitter, Twitter, Facebook. We will be looking into Google Plus and all other avenues to reach.
Yes. So yeah, all that and more. We got a whole new um, look coming in the next week or two with photos and other things as well. And I will say this: the photo that Dave and I have got, we're going to have a special effect on that. Plus, for the podcast, as a the intro, we're trying to get a sound effect for that too, for this thing to happen. I'll give you a clue. This photo is almost going to be like the album.
Mm.
So if you pick a Kiss album, okay, I won't say it just for the record. I won't say it just to spoil it, but the name of this podcast is not taken from that album, but the photo could be.
Exactly.
Alrighty then, we've got to get cruising. Dave, it's been an absolute pleasure.
And pleasure from this end too.
Yes, and as you can see, we are Matthew Kiss soldiers as well. Alright. Alright, guys, we're out of here.
All right. Yeah. See you next week.
See you next. Alright, bye.